So in 5-4, I feel like we got pretty good at it. I just want to, again, make sure we hit some of those new factoring techniques again. So if I want to factor this, what type of factoring would it be? Grouping. As soon as I see 4 terms, and they're asking me to factor, they're not giving me any other factors, I know it should group. So I'm going to group the first 2, the second 2. Oh, GCF in the first 2? X squared. Usually is. Pull that out. Left with x minus 4. How about a GCF in the second pair? Good. Positive 4. Technically, we should put plus 4. Sometimes I'll see people just slam it kind of all together and put 4. It's your work. If you do that, I won't take off. But again, technically, we should put plus 4. That leaves us with x minus 4. So the parentheses do match. So I pull that out as a GCF. Remember, we don't square that. Just like when I pulled the 4 out as a GCF, I didn't square the 4. I don't square the x minus 4. People like to just because I think they see the 2 of them a little bit easier. But I don't square it. Cross it off. I'm left with x squared plus 4. When we were in this factoring, we got really good at looking for more factoring, particularly looking at difference of squares. Is this a difference of squares?
No.
No, because I have addition. So this doesn't factor anymore. I'm going to make some up so I can make this part a little bit shorter. Actually, let's do 16x cubed minus 686. Some big numbers. Yeah, I'd be reaching for my calculator too, I think. What is going to be helpful to look for? What'd you say? Cube root. What are you going to say, Robert?
GCF.
Yeah, I think even before cube root, because if you try cube root, what's going to happen? You're going to get a decimal. So if you forgot, oh yeah, GCF first. Isn't a very big GCF, just 2. So I'm going to pull out the GCF of 2. That's going to leave me with 8x cubed minus 343. So it is one of those cubed problems. It's a difference of cubes. So remember to take the cube root. You hit 3, second, and then that exponent button. So we're going to need to do that for 8 and 343. What's the cube root of 8?
Yeah.
So we're going to have 2x there. How about the cube root of 343?
7.
And then because we've been away from it for a little while, what I would see on homework is you just put the binomial. But remember, this is that smiley face. So we're going to square, multiply, and square. And when you square the 2x, you square both the 2 and the x. So this will be 4x squared. Multiply them together, 14x. Square, 49. What do you remember about the signs?
Same. Opposite.
Yeah. Same opposite positive. Good job. So bring down the negative, switch to the opposite, end with positive. This never factors. Don't waste time trying. This will always be your answer. Whenever you've used the pattern, stop, move on. Let's do this one. We're going to solve. And then we'll move on to the ones we were just looking at. So it's a y to the 4th. We're going to solve it. So that was another new type of factoring, higher powers. Y to the 4th minus 14y squared plus 45 equals 0. So when I go to split it up, Gracie, do you remember how I'm going to start my parentheses? Yeah. It's the only way it's different. So split it up, y squared, y squared. Signs are the same and negative. Let's see, factors of 45 that add up to 14, we need 9 and 5. Well, I could factor y squared minus 9. That's a difference of squares. But y squared minus 5 isn't. So I might as well start solving another way I have to solve these. What's another way I have to solve? Square root method. So I'm going to start and solve that way. So I'm going to say y squared equals 9. Square root. Y equals plus or minus 3. I'm going to say y squared equals 5. So y equals plus or minus 5. Nope, I lost my square root, sorry. Y equals plus or minus square root of 5. Okay, let's look at one again that we are given a factor and we have to factor, and one where we're given a 0 and we have to solve. That was too similar to what we looked at. Let's look at this. So let's factor given a factor. Factor given a factor. We got f of x equals x cubed minus 10x squared plus 19x plus 30. And my factor is x minus 6. So again, whether I'm dividing, factoring, or solving, I'm going to write the binomial and I'm going to write the x equals. So in this case, Jared, what's my x equals?
X6.
Yeah, it was x minus 6, so I'm going to write x equals 6. The x equals is what I use for the synthetic, so x equals 6. No missing terms. So 1, negative 10, 19, and 30. 1, 6, negative 10, negative 60. I feel like I've done something wrong here.
Yeah, negative 10 plus 6 doesn't equal -10.
Thanks. And part of it, I knew I did something wrong because I wasn't going to get a remainder of 0. I know when I factor, I should get a remainder of 0. So let's see. Negative 4. This is going to look better. Thanks, Robert. Negative 19. Negative 5. Negative 30. Okay, now I'm feeling better. Remainder 0. We need this binomial as part of my answer. X minus 6. And then, okay, we need x squared minus 4x minus 5. Look back at our directions. Our directions are asking us to factor. That means we're going to factor this. Well, hopefully it's pretty basic factoring. Occasionally, maybe you have to guess and check. We can handle that. This is basic factoring. We want 1 and negative 5. This is where you stop when you have to factor. Let's do a solving one. Then we'll write a couple direction type things down, and then we'll have a little bit of time for homework. Let's do this one. That last number said 10. It didn't show up very well. So here we're going to solve. I think the directions will say given a 0 instead of given an x. So again, we always want to have two pieces of information. We always want to have the x equals. We always want to have the binomial. This time I have the x equals. So I want to write the binomial. Dylan, what would my binomial be? Yep. At some point, I'm going to use each of those things. For the synthetic, I use the x equals. No missing terms. 4, negative 25, negative 154, 40. See if I can do this right this time. 40, 15, 150, negative 4, negative 40, 0. So that worked out. So I'm going to keep the x minus 10. Again, I don't want to lose it. Ooh, this one's going to be 4x squared plus 15x minus 4. While I'm solving, I have a couple options here. I can hopefully factor. If it's too hard to factor, or maybe it can't factor, what's my other option for solving? Quadratic formula. Now, this does factor. I'll help us out because I do want us to get some time with the homework, and I factored this earlier today with the other class. We want to use 4x and x. We want to do 4 and 1. You have to help me on the signs, though.
Negative and positive.
Let's make sure Savannah's right. I think she is. Positive 16, negative 1. That does give us positive 15. Now, we're solving. So when we're solving, we have to do that one more additional step. We have to say this means x equals 10. This means 4x equals 1, so x equals 1/4. And this means x equals, negative 4. So to solve, we want to get x equals, not 0. All right, I want to just write a couple things down and then I'll give you the worksheet. A couple little tips or directions if it might be helpful to you. So let's put synthetic. Let's put always write the binomial and x equals. So you should always have that. And then when you divide, I think we put this yesterday, we put it's usually not a remainder. Oh gosh, I got sloppy. Of 0. But then let's also put this. It's the remainder over the binomial. That is some sloppy handwriting. I apologize. And then we'll put for factor or solve, the remainder must be 0. And then the binomial is part of the answer.